souls to the polls,
Yes.
which is real important. We're going to have a lot of churches involved, and looking forward to that. But for those of you who have not voted yet, most of you have, God bless you. Mayor, how many Floridians? I think it was in the paper today, it's almost over 4 million Floridians have already voted. It's incredible. We really cherish this right we have in Florida. But it's easy to early vote. Now, for those of you who live in St. Pete or near here, it's on 1st Avenue North and 5th Street, right across from City Hall. And it's from 7 in the morning until 7 in the evening, every day through Sunday. It's easy. All you got to do is bring some form of identification. You don't have to bring the ballot. You just show up, say, I'm a Floridian, this proves it, I want to vote. And that's what you do. So please do that. Please do that. Any other questions? Yes, sir?
My question is about restoring voting rights for ex-convicts.
For what? Ex-convicts?
Yeah. Why hasn't that been a bigger issue? And if Congressman Lewis can react to the fact that this affects hundreds of thousands of minority and African American voters?
Well, I just think it's a shame and a disgrace in a democratic society such as ours that we take the right to vote. Whether you've been convicted of a crime, you still have some rights. You're still human. I think it's a violation of human rights to say to another human being, you cannot vote. Now, the governor will tell us, my colleagues in the Congress will tell us, and we tell people that when we get ready for resources from the federal government, we count everybody. Everybody's counted. Whether you're in jail or in prison, or whether you're walking around like everyone. So if you're going to count people to get resources for your town, your city, your state, then they should have something to say about it. They should be able to cast a vote. If I had the power, if I could get a piece of legislation through the Congress, I would say at least in all federal elections, and maybe it should be in all elections, that people's right to vote should be protected and guaranteed. One person, one vote.
Amen.
Yes.
Congressman Lewis, your charisma is unbelievable. My only regret is you didn't play yourself in the movie Selma. My question, though, to you is, sir, watching Trump encouraging violence in his rallies, based on your commitment to nonviolence, what was that like for you to experience this campaign?
Well, it is very hard and very difficult to see the nominee of a major political party using the language, singing at people with different background, people disabled, mocking people. That's not the type of country we want. You know, we're one people. We all live in the same house, the American house. And as Martin Luther King Jr. said on one occasion, we must learn to live together as brothers and sisters. If not, we will perish as fools. And A. Philip Randolph, who was born in Jacksonville, Florida, moved to New York and became a champion of civil rights, human rights, and labor rights. Unbelievable man. He would say from time to time, well, if you cannot say something good about somebody, just don't say anything. And when we were planning the march, he would say, brethren, maybe our foremothers and our forefathers all came to this great land in different ships, but we're all in the same boat now. So I think in America today, we need to humanize our politics, humanize our institution, and all of us just be a little more human. And be prepared to forgive. You know, I was beaten during the Freedom Rise in 1961, left bloody, unconscious, at a Greyhound bus station in Rock Hill, South Carolina. My seatmate was a young white gentleman. The two of us tried to enter a so-called white waiting room. We were left in a pool of blood. Years later, and this is May 1961, same year President Obama was born. But years later, a man in his 70s and his son in his 40s came to my office on Capitol Hill and said, "Mr. Lewis, I want to know the people who beat you and your seatmate. I've been a member of the Klan." He said, "Will you forgive me? I want to apologize." And I said, "I accept your apology. I forgive you." His son started crying. He started crying. They hugged me, and the three of us cried together. I think we have to have the capacity, the ability to forgive and to create what Dr. King called the beloved community, for we recognize and respect the dignity and the worth of every human being. That's what the struggle was all about.
Yes, ma'am.
Governor Crist, would you address Amendment 1 for us?
Sure.
Vote no on 1. For the Congressman's benefit, and maybe some of you, Amendment 1 is a fraud. It is put up and advertised as being good for solar energy. It is not. It is absolutely wrong. It is a campaign run by the utility companies, Florida Power and Light, Duke Power, who, by the way, have given my opponent $350,000, so you know where he is on the environment. I believe in solar, and I believe in wind, and we need to do those kinds of things. We live in the Sunshine City. And we live in the Sunshine State. And yet we do less solar energy than New Jersey. It's astonishing because the utility companies have such a stranglehold on our state government. I'm just going to call a thing, as Carol always encourages me to do. That's what's happening. So I would encourage you to vote no on 1 so that we can actually have real solar energy in our Sunshine State. Thank you for asking. Dr. Arson.
Hi, John. Welcome.
Hi, how you doing?
It's Ray.
Good to see you, Ray.
So great to see you.
You're looking good.
Very Florida. We have 2,000 historians coming today out at St. Pete Beach for a big conference, so we're trying to welcome them in Florida style here. Speaking of fraud, I wonder, John, if you could comment on the Donald Trump's notion of the rigged election, his implicit challenge of the peaceful transfer of power. I keep thinking about you and all the times you risked your life for the right to vote, or the right to be treated as an equal citizen, and his Trump's rejection, really, of the entire American tradition. I just can't imagine how that must make you feel. I wonder if you could comment on that.
Well, first of all, I just think it's not becoming of a presidential candidate or any candidate to suggest that the election, national election, is rigged or going to be rigged. Somebody trying to steal this or steal that or make something else happen. I just, I don't want to become I just think it's shameful. It's not becoming of America. And to say, I may not accept the outcome of the election if I'm not elected, it's just crazy. It's, how can you respond to something like that? It's something from another planet.
Another universe.
I follow every presidential election since I was 20 years old, since the election of President Kennedy. And I've never, ever seen anything like this. It's shameful. But we will get there. It's going to work out. So I say, especially to the young people, to the students, don't get lost in this, in the sea of despair. Be hopeful, be optimistic. It's going to work out. And don't give up on offering yourselves as public servants at getting involved in American politics. You can do it. When I was growing up, we hadn't heard of the internet, a website. What is that? Facebook. You have all of the learning and know-how to lead our country to greater heights. So just get out there and push and pull and do it. Be brave, be courageous, be bold. And never, ever give up. Never get lost in the sea of despair. Just go for it. You know, Chris, I should recognize my sisters here. All these sisters. I recognize the brothers. Thank you all for being here, okay?
Good to see you.
You look good.
Corey.